Hey everyone, in today's video I'm sharing with you how I store my insert paper from Happy Planners. So let's get to it. Yesterday's video I shared with you ways to use up half sheets because I'm really on this we need to use the shit kind of mission. So as you seen yesterday, this is my Happy Notes in a classic skinny size that I just put some dividers in and separated out my paper. All of them have the same system in setup. The first section is lined or daily or weekly. The second section is lined, and the third section is dot grid and graph. I have one of these in every Happy Planner size. So what I recommend is when you go through your stash, if you've got planners that you don't want the covers from, scoop them because you're going to use them to create these. I like picking up the Happy Notes when I see them, whether they're in classic size or mini size or skinny classic, because they make great storage solutions, and it's even better if you can find them on clearance. So the next one we're going to talk about is, it's the same system for my classic sized paper. I don't use big, or I would have one for my big. Again, I need to label these, but the first section is all weekly or daily. The second section is all lined paper. And the third section is full of dot grid and graph at the back. Next up on the agenda is a mini size and a skinny classic. Both of these were planners that were expired. This one I bought with the intention of using it, and I never did. And I totally forgot about it until I was doing my office about a year ago, and I stumbled across it and I went, oh, I'm going to scoop the cover for that because I'm going to use it to store paper. The same thing with this. Happy Planner sent me this, I think, as part of a promo with an order I placed. It was a vertical, and I don't use vertical. So I repurposed the covers into a storage. So again, in the front, we've got daily. I don't have a ton of variety in mini size. I do have some lined. And then of course in the back, I've got dot grid. And the same goes with the skinny classic. This is another size I don't have a ton of variety in, but I do have, you know, weekly and lined. And then of course at the back, I've got these note pads, which are meant to pop into your planner so you can just tear them off. I just usually tear off a piece and throw it into my weekly. The reason I love this size and micro is when I make lists or notes on these and put them into my weekly, it doesn't cover up much. And as I've said many times before, I like to be able to see things. I'm a very visual person, and I need to see things. So I don't like paper in my weeklies that's going to cover up a large portion of the things I need to see. And again, this one's separated. I don't have a ton. I have lined in this, and I have dot grid. So we don't have a ton to work with in that. But I have a lot of insert paper. A lot. And as it comes in, it goes into these containers. Now this container came from Michael's, and it is the perfect width for storing classic sized Happy Planner paper. It's a clear container so you can see what's going on in there. I have two of them. It's got these nice latches at the front, and it comes with these dividers so you can separate out your categories. I believe this is meant for card storage. I will see if I can find a link to it on the Michael's website and throw it down below for you. But I have two of these containers. And as the paper comes in, I try and organize it. I've got to get through here and reorganize things because I just kind of got lazy and started throwing things in for a while. But these work really well. And I've been using these for a year and a half, I think, question mark. I love them because they stack really well and they don't shift. They fit into each other rather well. Like they, not really lock, but when they're on top of one another, they're not going to move. They're sturdy. They provide prevention for damage from water or dust or falling objects in your office. and it gets it out of the plastic. The reason I think that this is so perfect for me is because these I can put over and off to the side and only come in here when I need to put more stuff into these books. Because again, we need to start using the stuff. If it doesn't get used, it's kind of useless sitting there collecting dust. These just take up a small shelf on my storage unit, and they go from, you know, classic to skinny classic to mini to skinny mini to micro, like so. And they just sit on the shelf, and when I need some paper to go in, or if I'm making an insert page, or I need something to slip into my planner for that week for notes or whatever, they're easily grabbed, which means I'm actually using the stuff. And I've been using these consistently now for a year. So it works. At least for me, it works. So I hope you found this useful. My suggestion is keep your eyes open for clearance items for these covers. If it doesn't really, I mean, you can always repurpose the guts, but really these planner covers, if you can get them on clearance for a couple of bucks, you now have superb storage for your planner paper. That means it's going to protect it. And I just put classic discs on all of them so I can get quite a bit on. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, you guys. Let me know in the comments. If you are new to the channel, drop us a comment down below. Introduce yourself. We'd love to welcome you into our community. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I will see you next time. Ciao.